good afternoon. Today is the 12th of August and this is the Collectively Camberley Car Show in Camberley Town Centre in Surrey. This is part 2 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle. I do apologise in advance if there's music in the background, if I get things wrong, if I fall over, if there's wind noise, if there's rain, if it's generally a terrible video. That's just the way that it goes on this channel. So we start where we kind of left off in part 1. 1967 Ford Mustang. That's rather nice, isn't it, viewers? There's lots of American cars here. There's quite a big classic American car community in this area, actually. So it's not surprising seeing so many of them. We've got an original generation. Actually, no, this isn't an original generation. It's a little bit later than the original Corvette. This one is a 59. Yeah, they came out in 53, so this is a bit later. Most components are originals, apparently. It always has for the restoration. It's ever so 50s American, isn't it? Ever so 50s. Especially the bag. Just those rear lights and thinking about how difficult it would have been to sort of make, and the bumper and everything. Much later Corvette here is C3, I think they call it. These are Stingray. This is from about 1972. Yes, it is 72. Glass fibre bodywork, of course, like I think the majority of Corvettes are. That is quite a colour of the year, isn't it? Much later Corvette here, I think this is a 2001 or 2002, it's C5. Again, you can, I think, buy these from dealerships in this country at the time, but obviously only left-hand drive around this sort of era. 6-speed manual, and I think that was also used in cars like the Lotus Carlton and things like that. Oh, I can hear somebody talking to me over there. We'll have to come and have a word with him in a sec. I've actually... Is this one of the previous generation Corvettes? Yeah, it is. It's a 7-speed manual. A 7-speed manual. I think one of the only 2 cars in the world I'm aware of that came with a 7-speed manual ever. Yes, it's a C7 Z06 and it's a 2017. You could actually buy these from a couple of dealerships round in this country. This is probably from Ian Allen Motors in Virginia Water. I've actually been offered to drive with one of these, very similar to this, but unfortunately it wasn't working on the time that I came round. Oh, very nice views. This is the sort of thing we like very, very much. Unusual plate for an MGR V8. This car would have been made no later than 1995, and yet it's wearing a much later plate on it. That's interesting. I think it's got a beige leather interior in it too, viewers. So it's a 95, but it was registered quite a lot later. Registered, yeah, for 2 years, so 1997. That is very nice. We would like to get an MGR V8 on the channel, viewers, particularly one of these nice Japanese spec ones that have all sorts of extras. And yes, a beige leather interior as well. With. And hello. Of course he's here. This is quite a good replica, actually. I've studied these Knight Rider cars quite a lot, and we'll have a look at the dash and see if this is one of the sort of earlier or the later style ones. This is one of the later style ones. The original kind of cars from 82 had a different little speaker light in the middle of there, and some of the differences. In terms of the console overhead, I don't think it's actually got one, or has it? It seems to have got a console overhead. Oh, it has. It's got one of those consoles as well. That's amazing. Someone's worked very hard on this. There's lots of these replicas out there all over the world. This is a pretty good one, though. That's amazing. And then we've got a Ford Consul Capri. I think we saw this actually 4 years ago. It was last year. We saw it then. This is a 62. These were not a success for Ford of Europe. The Consul Classic that this was based on was one of the shortest production runs they ever had. It was raised by a Corsair in 63. The Capri lasted a little bit longer. They were terrible for rust, but this one looks immaculate, so that's not a problem on this one. Humber Sceptre. This is an early Sceptre. I'd say about 1963, 64. Now, in this country, a lot of people think that automatically all car plates ended with letter A in 63, and then in 64 went to B. That's not actually the case. local authorities were not required to switch to the new plates until 1965. So you see cars, this is a 64 and it's still got the old style plate on it, because local authorities were just wanting to use up as many combinations as possible before the new style plates came in, I think. But yeah, based on Hilton Superminx, the Sceptre actually carried this style of rear window right the way through to the end of production in 1967, when they were replaced by the Arrow type Sceptre, whereas the Superminx and the Singer, let's get this right, Singer Vogue had the latest style rear window from about 65 onwards. Iota Ford here, this is a Zephyr 6. This one is a 56, it's quite a late one actually for one of these. So it's actually got a Mark III engine and gearbox in it. Full restoration 2004, it's very nice. And then we've got, let's get this right, yeah, MGB. I thought it might be an MGC for a second there, but it's not. 69 to 70 registration. To 70, there's the certificate to prove it. Yeah, registered in early 1970. I'm not really enjoying this saxophone cover music viewers, I'm afraid. We're going to have to keep going. Pontiac Firebird, I think this is. It's a 95. It's a B on it. Why is it on a P? That makes no sense, viewers. Let's keep going. And there's a Camaro here. 1988 Chevy Camaro. Same sort of basic body as the kit car you would have seen over there, but obviously a different front end and other differences. 1977 Chevrolet Corvette C3 2D Coupe. I don't know what a 2D Coupe is. A 2D should be flat, but this obviously is a 3D 2D with a luggage rack as well. And then, ooh, don't mind if I do, viewers, a Ford Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth. Very nice, viewers. Hope he's got a good alarm system in there for one of these. Yeah, it's an 89. And there is a special twin cam modified Pinto engine. Ooh, Essex plate. I wonder if that was registered by Ford originally themselves. Could have been. 1966 Ford Mustang. Look at that, all shiny, shiny, shiny. Pennsylvania. MGA 1600. 1960. And then a Panther Calista. Someone's obviously kind of thought about, in a way, how some of these cars would be displayed and they put all red ones together. So it is for sale, £10,500. Call 07795 035 340. This is a 1.6 Ford CVH, registered in June '84. There's a little Panther friend there. Hello. And another friend in the back too. Type 9 gearbox, I think. This was actually made during the SsangYong owned era of Panther. Yes, SsangYong. I own a SsangYong, so I'm allowed to talk about them. And we've got lots of Ford bits in there. Isn't that great? I quite like that, because I think that's it's pretty special. Just come outside because I had a rumour there were some of the cars out the back of this shopping centre that I was outside just then, and I was right. The Sporting Bear Club is actually here, and they're doing passenger rides. Not, I don't think, in this Jaguar E-Type Series 3 V12 from '72. There is the magnificent V12. But in things like this Lotus, I think this is the brand new Lotus, this and a mirror or something like that. Got a manual gearbox in it as well. That's exciting. Yeah, that is very exciting. I mean, it's maybe not as agreeable to me particularly as the E-Type, but you know, that'll do. And then Ford Focus S. No, it's not an ST. It's an Mark III RS. They're quite fast, and they're Sporting Bears who are, as they say, actually driving for charity. That's literally what they're doing. Someone's going out in that, I think that's an Exige, isn't it? 11 plate, 410 Sport. I think that's got the, gosh, it was right, the Toyota engine in that one. Would have gone in an E-Type, but you're going to go in this particular E-Type here. I think again this is a 72, 73. It's another Series 3 E-Type. This one is the Roadster as opposed to the fixed coupe. Look at this. What have we got here? Does it say it's a Firebird? It's a sort of Bandit replica one. 78, 79 plates. A little bit later than the film. The film was 77, and so were the cars used in it. So it's a little bit later than that. But I mean, we're not going to complain, are we? Have to go into one of these, and you can pretend you're, I don't know, Burt Reynolds or Sally Field or whatever takes your fancy. My gosh, that Lotus is loud. Caterham 7410R 2020 plate. That's interesting, isn't it, viewers? Gosh, there's more here. I didn't realise there were so many here. Let's go over here. What have we got here? Porsche 918 Spider in Martini livery. And there's an Escort there as well. We'll have a look at that in a second. Yeah, welcome to the Collectively Camberley Car Show. Another Mark II Escort. Probably saw this one, to be honest, in 2019, didn't we? This one here. 1974-75 RS 2000. Very nice, viewers. Just on the side of the road here. And a Lotus Evora 400 is casually parked here, of course. On camera, this looks yellow, but it's almost like an orange colour, actually. It's interesting. Another one of these Dodge Rams. Personal plate. I have no idea sort of what year that is, but look, you've got an actual kind of a very dead Ram on the back there. Looks like the chap from the end of Doom when you played that old game back in the 90s. That's the sort of thing you thought at the end of Doom. Ferrari here. Oh, I forget the names of all the Ferrari models here. I mean, it's very nice. I just forgotten what that's called. Oh, Portofino. And we can have a look, go in this 2018 to 19 Volkswagen Up GTI. I gather these are quite good fun. I've only ever driven like a sort of normal Up myself. And a 2016 Ford Mustang with a 5 litre V8, of course. Very nice. If I was 5 or 6 years old, I'd be having the time of my life today, because I'd go in a lot of these cars. I'm going to go in this Jaguar F-Type. I think this is an F-Type R. Yes, it is. 2018. And then we've got the Nissan GTR. I've actually driven one of these on a track. I drove it a few weeks ago, actually. I wasn't able to film that, but I did drive one of these, and it was pretty nice. So we've got a Lotus Elise here. This is a Series 1 Elise, which is just interesting, just parked around the back of a shopping centre. It's a 111S, 1992,000 plate. Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI. Again, just kind of parked around the back of a shopping centre. What's that? It's an F, so 88, 89. BMW E36 here. Hello to @E36_Brewster on Instagram. Yeah, personal plate on that too, and some modifications. Wow, this show is a lot bigger than it was last time I came. There's about double the number of cars here or something. Right, another Nissan GTR. Yeah, I mean, they are amazing to drive. Absolutely fantastic. And look at this, an NSU R080 with some pistons out of it to sort of show you how the engine actually works. And there we go. This one is a 72. yeah, you call it an Audi because Audi kind of owned the company at the time, but I mean just an SU really. And the bizarre transmission, it's like a semi-automatic gearbox. Don't really know how to describe it really. Oh, we've got another rotary engine car there, but it's a very nice R080, very nice. And Mazda RX-7. I can't remember what generation this was called, but it was a very confusing sort of early one. Until you get to sort of FCs, I get thoroughly confused about what they're called and things like that. So we'll just pass this Tiger Super 6 for a moment to have a look at the Mazda. It's an FB, it's an 84. That's got quite a serious looking sort of body kit on it as well. There we go. That is, yeah, Mark 1 Series 3. That's why I get confused. Excellent. And that famous Mazda Orfila Tiger Super 6. I assume that is based on some kind of other car, because the car dates from 2003, but it's got a 1988 to 89 registration. So I'm imagining this is off a much earlier car. Wouldn't be surprised if that is based on some kind of Ford, like a Sierra or something. Very popular for a long time to base kit cars on Sierras. K10 Micro, and I have to keep a little bit back from there. I think that is Phil Collins coming out of there. I hope that the copyright fairy doesn't kill me for that. It has been known. 1973 MGB Roadster, 1962 Vauxhall Cresta, PA Cresta. This is one of the facelifted ones. So actually were replaced later in 62. The rear window in these is a little bit different on this later one, and so is the rear end, but I can never remember exactly. Honda Civic Type R. Oh gosh, I forget the. Yes, FK8. It's an early FK actually. They came out in 17. That's 17. The Civic I drove recently was this generation, but it wasn't a Type R. 1965 Austin A40 Farina Mark II. Let's look very carefully at this, viewers, and see if we can identify whether it's got a fixed rear window or if it's the Countryman model. Now we've got no hinges whatsoever of any description, so that is just the normal one. Oh, that's better, viewers. A Triumph Dolomite 1850 HL with sprint alloy wheels. Yes, please, viewers. We like that very much. 76. I forget the name of this colour, but that is a very, very nice colour. I would happily own that myself, I think. Let's have a look at this, see more information about this Austin. Rest of the Isle of Wight. Is it a DL or something? Yeah, DL was the only Isle of Wight plate till 2001. Past to owners 76, garage 91, lots of restoration trophies. Very good. Right, and then we have a Lotus, I think this is an XL, yeah, it's an 84. Lotus XL, nice cheerful 1980s colour. 2.2 engine. Austin A35, yeah, top by the grille. Also got the large rear window. This is 58 in Gravesend. Most of them seem to be these days the two-door, but there was a four-door available as well. Sharing a similar engine, no, not exactly the same by this stage. This 69 to 70 Morris Minor 1000 two-door. I forget the name of this colour. My mother's Minor was sort of this colour, but this is a 1098 by this stage, whereas that would have been a 948, I think, an A35. Oh, this looks like it's a very late Dolomite. It's one of the very last. That's a 1500. The standard 1500s had a completely different front end from the 1850s, as you can see. We haven't got things like vinyl on the seat pillar. We've got far less kind of advanced engineering. This is the old standard SC engine in here, with the largest form I did it, which was 1.5 litres. The Dolomite I had, which was a 1980 Dolomite 1500 SE, also had this engine, and they have one of the longest exhaust pipes in them known to man as well. And a Honda Today. Oh yes, today we've seen a Honda Today. I've never seen one of these before, viewers. That is absolutely tiny. It's like a bit like a logo. One of 6 imported and registered June 2023. So just arrived for some shows. It's 96. Excellent. I like that very much, viewers. Also some more Japanese domestic market goodness here with this, I think this is a Toyota Chaser or something. Hello to Luke_JZX on Instagram. I think it's a Chaser. As far as I know. Ooh, hello. Ooh, viewers. Now this is nice. Look at this. 1973, 1974 Ford console with a Granada badge. We'll have a look at the front end and we'll see. Yeah, it's a console. It's got the console on there. It's got front end which will be distinctive of the console. Yeah, that's a console. But it says Ford Granada on it. I'm really confused. This is actually a really similar car to the one used in the Sweeney. That was a different colour, but it was a console GT. I think the one in the Sweeney for certain had the 3 litre Essex engine. This one, I don't know, I'm not sure, because someone's just been sort of messing around with the badges on this, so who knows. I'm gonna just stop here a second and take a photograph of this and send it over to Mr. Coleman, a rubbish mechanic, who is an expert on Mark 1 and Mark 2 Ford Granadas, and he will tell me exactly what this is. Whilst we wait for Mr. Coleman to get back to me, let's have a look at this 1977 Ford Cortina Mark 4 2.3 gear with the Cologne V6 engine. But that is really nice. It's in superb condition. As the information sheet and windscreen says, the Mark 4 Cortina is quite rare. The rust on these was absolutely and utterly appalling. The 2.3s are pretty rare. I think they only made a 2.3 GL and a 2.3 gear. This one's an auto with a vinyl roof, of course, and it's in amazing condition. A lot of these just end up on a banger track, but this one has been saved, which is excellent. And then we will continue by having a look at this Boxster. What year is this Boxster? 2004. The Boxster Anniversary Edition. I think this is a very late sort of first generation Boxster from looking at these headlights. Obviously, if it's a facelift and things like that. And then a BMW E28 528i SE, complete with headlamp wiper action. Oh, it's got a leather interior as well. It's not a beige one, but nevertheless it is. Oh, getting hungry now, viewers. It's the problem with doing this show in the centre of Camberley. It's that tempting, tasty treats keep turning up, and they're not just the cars. Series 2, yeah, Series 2 Jaguar E-Type 4.2, 1969 on an H. I think this is primrose yellow, but I could be entirely wrong, as I am about so many things. Very nice 1973 Ford Escort. I think they're just a more normal one. We've got much later wheels on here. I think they're off a Capri, these wheels, from memory. But yeah, still very valuable. The 4 doors are less valuable than 2 doors, but they're still very nice. Another one of these Mustangs, been on a Gumball 3000 rally apparently. Now that's definitely agreeable, isn't it? 2018. Citroen Ami 1 from 2022, of course. And an Edsel Ranger, that's 58. Calling it a Ford Edsel, kind of right. Probably best just to call it an Edsel Ranger. That's just me being picky, isn't it, viewers? And we have a 1934 Riley Lynx. That's interesting, isn't it, viewers? Really are just all sorts of things. You know, we've just seen an Ami 1 from 2022, and here's a 1934 Riley, just something for everyone. And a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Not really perhaps my first choice of colour, this one, but we do like a nice Dolomite Sprint on this channel, viewers, and this one is for sale. Oh no, actually no, this is for sale. It's a TR8. It's for sale. That's a 1980 as well as this Dolomite Sprint. That's been breathed on as well. I think that's still the old slant 4 engine, but it's had some work done to it. Is there a Standpart logo on there? I don't know. Let's have a look at this Vanden Plas whilst we're here. Vanden Plas is possibly one of my favourite makes of car ever. Absolute and utter abject luxury. This one is the Fleet Princess Mark II, around 1960, something like that. Let's have a look at this. Tell me exactly on here. Yeah, 62. And that is rather agreeable. Yeah, brand new Toyota GR Yaris 2022. I kind of fancy going one of those actually. I've heard they are superb. Another one of these Nissan GTRs, of course. Supergirl, gosh, Supergirl's here too. I presume she's from one of the later things, rather than that film with Helen Slater in 1984. So yes, GTR. And a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda AAR. Let's try not to trip over any children here whilst we're at the show, viewers. That would probably be a bad idea. And a side exit exhaust. You better watch yourself actually, otherwise you're going to get very burnt. It's a very nice interior someone's done with that. And it's not the original one, but that's rather nice. Another Plymouth Barracuda, another 1970. I don't think I've ever seen two Plymouth Barracudas together at any show, actually, viewers. That is rather nice. 1971-72 Rover 3500S. And this is, yes, indeed, a Series 2. Sorry, 72. With power steering. Probably a good idea to fit power steering if you can afford a car like this. But I have driven one without power steering and I managed it. 1969 Ford Cortina Mark II Savage. Yes, excellent. Had the 3-litre Essex in these. Nice and fast. We've got another one of these Mark II Cortina. This one's a Crayford. Cortina 1600 GT. Uh, 69, that one. Another Triumph GT6. This one's another Mark III actually. It's a 71 with the cosmic alloy wheels. Ooh, 1.6 Peugeot 205 GTI. Had both flavours today. This one is an 89. That registration is a little bit earlier than the car. 12 owners. Is that something to be proud of? Answer in the comments section below. Talking of the GT6s, we've got another one here, the Mark II, which is a very different front end and a completely different rear end. And I think this had the different suspension in it as well. They just kind of kept changing the suspension over and over again for reasons I just don't understand. Jasmine paperwork, new Mark II bonnet. Wow. Interesting. MGF alloy wheels, apparently. Didn't realise you could fit those to a GT6, but here we are. Ooh, viewers. That's very nice. Triumph Claim, 1982. This looks identical to the one that our neighbours had when I was growing up. This is just like an L or something. It's not even got headroom shades in it. Yeah, it could be the base model, which was the L. One of our neighbours had was this colour. I'd prefer a CD, viewers, but it's just me. It is for sale. So dial 07557 517384. And look, viewers, the most famous car in the world, Aston Martin DB5. This one I don't think is the real one, it wouldn't be here, but it has got the BMT 2168 plate. Yeah, there we go. It's quite expensive. £300,000 restoration. That does smells really good. It's a 5-speed gearbox put in it as well at some point. Goodness gracious me. I think DB100's probably the real plate on it. 1961 Buckler 90. This is a make of car I've never heard of before in my entire life. Built in Reading. I presume this is some kind of like stainless steel or all aluminium body or something on this. And there's another Buckler for sale there as well. Don't know what engine that is. Yeah. I think on that note of complete and utter sort of exasperation and not knowing what to say, we'll leave it here. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again soon in part 3 for more incorrect information.